The one of Joe Galler, inside of Galler from Tulare, California. Driver of the C4, James Cornelius. Outside, row number 2 from Porterville, California. The 5 of Raymond Nolan Jr. And inside of Raymond Nolan Jr. from San Diego, California. Driver of the 81, Brian Brown. And your front row for B main event number 1. Outside row number 1, the 37 of Aaron Stewart. And on the point, the 316 of Kenny White. That is your lineup for B main event number 1 for your H&S Bodyworks Hobby Stocks division. As you see our flagman Jimmy the Shoe Irwin show him the one to go this time by. The lights will go out. Green flag next time off of turn number 4. Your front row, the 316 of Kenny White and the 37 of Aaron Stewart. These guys have a bit of a different look on the track. A lot different from their heat race as the track is starting to slick off. You can see it start to get shiny from the bottom to the top. You can see a little bit of dull down on the bottom side, a little bit of dull up on the cushion on the outside. Lights are out there side by side coming to the stripe. Green flags in the air. We're underway with heat race B feature number 1 for your hobby stock division. Going down into turns 1 and 2. Problems for the 37 of Aaron Stewart. They're drag racing down the back straightaway for the lead. It's the 81 of Brian Brown and the 316 of Kenny White. Yellow flag will fly. Caution is out. So it looks like we did not get a lap in. We should do a complete restart as we had troubles with the 37 of Aaron Stewart.
Aaron Stewart got together with the 316 machine. I hear at the green flag, a little bit of a contact sent Stewart to the top of the racetrack. He smartly brought out the caution. See if they can line him up and get his starting spot back.
It looks like it looks a little bit low on the right front there. Let's see
as
it drives by.
Yep, that is a right front. That is flat.
Right front flat on the 37 of Aaron Stewart. Tough luck for Aaron Stewart as he was starting outside row number 1. He's going to have to go by way of the pits, go to the hot lane, and see if he can get that thing fixed up.
Earlier today, we had breakfast with Brian Brown and his crew at the Holiday Inn Express, where they're staying the same place we are, and he was so excited to get into this car. He was just chomping at the bit. He says he's got a real chance to win this, and that is a nice-looking machine. And Brian Brown, very talented driver in this division.
That is a very good-looking number 81, coming from all the way from San Diego, California. As you can see, they're going to penalize the 316 of Kenny White for that contact with the 37 of Aaron Stewart.
Nothing about that looked intentional. It was just really hard racing, but rules are rules. That's how it goes down. We're going to line them up and try it again here on the restart.
So now we have a new front row. We've got the 81 of Brian Brown from San Diego and the 5 of Raymond Nolan Jr. from Porterville, California, outside row number 1. In row number 2 will be the C4 of James Cornelius and the 1 of Joe Galler. Then you'll pick up the 43 of Sam Garvin from Oxnard, California. And the 71 of Jackie Roberts. We're going to get the one to go this time by. Now, Corey, your guy Brian Brown from San Diego, now he's on the point. Let's see what he can do with this initial start. So we have no laps in the books.
Well, did you see him there on that last restart? That car looked pretty darn good, but anything can happen. We could see something happen like we did in the last start. Contact in the front row can ruin your night. We'll see what these guys can pull off. How many laps are we scheduled for, John?
I don't have the schedule in front of me. I believe this is 12 laps.
I believe you're right, 12 laps.
It's a 12-lap B feature.
Not a lot of time to work with. When you got to go, you got to go.
Lights are out. Green flag in the air. We're underway once again with the B main. Number 1 for the H&S Bodyworks Hobby Stock Division. Down on the bottom side goes Brian Brown. Gets good drive off of turn number 2. Around goes the 43 of Sam Garvin. Let's see if he can get that thing pointed in the right direction. Problem for Roberts as well down the back straightaway. Caution does not come out. We're going to get lap 1 in the books and give it to the 81 of Brian Brown.
Brian Brown using that low line through turns 1 and 2. That car very almost like asphalt. Very smooth, not upsetting the car, not even really rolling over a whole bunch, John.
You can see him get that thing pointed in the right direction. Doesn't have the rear of the cars coming around as does a little bit off of turn number 4. Still gets good drive, good forward bite down the front straightaway.
just very smooth. Up front, your leader, Brian Brown, impressive. Everybody else up against the wall, way up on the top side through turns 1 and 2. He's utilizing that lower groove the shorter way around. We're starting to see some rubber go down in that groove, and cars are really taking advantage of that.
You could see the top going away. There's not much of a cushion left. You have about 6 inches before you get into the fence. There's not much there to hold that right rear tire. As you see the C4 jump at the cushion in turns 1 and 2. Tries around the outside of the 316 of White. White trying to keep the position number 3 as white flags going in the air, this time off of turn number 4.
There's only 5 cars left on the track. I think we're going to transfer all 5.
That is exactly what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. 5 cars transfer, and there's only 5 cars left on the track. The checkered flag will fly this time by, so the checkered flag will fly on lap number 5 for the 81 of Brian Brown, Raymond Nolan Jr. in the number 2 spot. And the number 3 will be the 316 of Kenny White. 4th will be the C4 of James Cornelius. And rounding out that top 5 is the 1 of Galler. So that's going to do it for B1. Up next will be B main event number 2. And your lineup will look like this. Outside row number 5 from Bakersfield, California. The 8K of Dale Fry. Outside of Fry from Bakersfield, he had tough luck in his heat race, trying to come through a B main event. The 1N of Nicholas Johnson. Outside row number 4 from Chowchilla, California, the 18 of Megan Myers. Inside of Myers, also from Chowchilla, California, the 44 of Austin Van Hoff. Outside row number 3 from Bakersfield, it's flying Brian Childress. Inside of Brian Childress, the 119 of Rick Henderson. Outside row number 2, the Zero Machine of Justin Gonzalez. Inside of Gonzalez, driver of the number 74, it's Wayne Dotson. And your front row for B main event number 2 from Wasco, California. On the outside, driver of the number 91, Marcus Wonkum. And on the point from San Jose, California, driver of the number X, Rob Galler. So Rob Galler, he's always fast when he comes here to Bakersfield, California, and he finds his way in a B main event. Outside of him is Matt Wonkum, and second row, there's no slouch in Wayne Dotson and Justin Gonzalez.
I was going to say, but if you're going to find yourself in the B main, at least you want to be on the pole.
Yes. We'll see what he can do with the initial start of that X machine. I know he's going to have Wayne Dotson all over him in that 74 machine.
You can bank on that.
Wayne Dotson is known for driving the wheels off of each and every machine that he gets in, and he makes it very exciting to watch, does it, Wayne Dotson?
I think every Dotson that gets behind the wheel does. I mean, these guys are just God-gifted race car drivers.
Yes, his daughter Miranda Scott is also running an American stock, the number 74 American stock, and I believe she's in the show. You'll see her later tonight in the A main event.
One of the things I'm going to watch in this one is that kid in the back row, Nicholas Johnson. He is always competitive here at Bakersfield Speedway. I want to see how far he can advance up through the field. That young man, very talented.
We'll see what he can do starting in the very last row as the green flag will fly, this time off of turn number 4. They're coming to the stripe. Green flag's in the air. We're underway with Hobby Stock B feature number 2. Good corner entry for Rob Galler in the X machine in the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Matt Wonkum on the outside of Wayne Dotson coming down the back straightaway. We're almost going 3 wide into turn number 3. Wayne Dotson a little loose to the center of turns 3 and 4, giving lap number 1 to Rob Galler.
And look who's making their way from the back of the pack, now sitting in the number 3 spot, Nicholas Johnson. We got some trouble here on the front stretch. A couple of drivers having a little discussion here.
Caution flies for the 99B of Flying Brian Childress and the 8K of Dale Fry. So problems early, as we only have 6 cars remaining in B number 2. So if one more car were to fall out, we would have an early checkered and an early finish to this one as well. So Flying Brian Childress, you can see that Sully & Son sponsored number 99B. Pulling double duty here tonight, driving the 46 American stock.
Both these cars are hooked together. You saw them put in reverse and just burn rubber trying to move. The cars are locked together. Definitely going to need a couple of tow trucks out here to get these guys separated.
So as we have a moment here, as we were talking about the Dotson family, they're covered each and every division except for the late models.
Right.
So Ethan Dotson running the Sport Mod and the Modified. So he's got a chance at winning big time hardware.
Right.
Big time hardware here for the Bud Nationals.
When our season ended in Southern Oregon and Ethan had just won the Boone Super Nationals, we actually had him on our show, West Coast Wide Open. He called in. We talked about the experience and, the big win back there in Boone and how he represented not just the state of California, but proudly represented the entire West Coast, as did Cody Laney, finishing third. I tried to convince him to get into a late model here at this show, and it just didn't seem like it was a big interest for Ethan Dotson. So it surprised me because we've seen Cody Laney win this in a late model, and those guys, they can drive the wheels off anything, like you said. I was surprised to see that that's the only division that they're not represented in here as the Dotson family, and I was really trying to talk to Ethan into finding a late model ride for the show because of the extra money we got for sponsorship, and I thought it'd be really fun to see what he could do. Unfortunately, not tonight.
Yeah, not tonight, not this year in a late model. Not to say that it won't happen.
I'm sure it
in
will.
the future.
I'm sure it will.
That young man is very talented. He's done very well, and he's still relatively new to modified racing. But this year, putting in so much time, going back east and doing so well, all throughout his year so far in 2019, he's just trying to pick up another victory on the West Coast in front of his home crowd, in front of all of his fans. All the people here from Bakersfield want to see Ethan Dotson do well. And so far, he's done that.
Well, he does. Everywhere he unloads, whether it's a new track he's never been to or someplace he calls home, the kid is just he's a total package. He's smart. He understands race cars. He's got a great right foot, knows how to throttle control. He is phenomenal on that wheel, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do here the rest of the weekend. He's really something special to watch. Has a very, very bright racing future ahead of him.
As you can see on the front straightaway, they did get these cars separated. So Dale Fry able to drive off, but Flying Brian Childress in the 99B having to go by way of the hook. So we'll get Brian Childress off of the track, and then we have 6 cars remaining for 11 more laps to find who will tag the back of the A main event. Nicholas Johnson all the way up to the number 3 spot, already in that one-in machine. They had big-time suspension problems on the right front of that. Looks like they got everything figured out as we're going. Green flag is in the air. We're back under green flag racing conditions. Down into turns 1 and 2 goes the X of Galler. Nicholas Johnson now making a move on Matt Welcome down the back straightaway. They're side by side down the back straightaway. Nicholas Johnson on the bottom. Matt Welcome up on the top. Nicholas Johnson now trying to take a look underneath Galler for that number 1 position. 2 laps down, 10 laps remaining. Nicholas Johnson gets good rotation, good drive off the bottom side. Oh, problems for the X of Galler. So big time bobble for Rob Galler. Not sure what happened there, but that car just seemed to come to a halt down the back straightaway.
Now back on the throttle under his own power. He still sits in the number 3 spot, battling Walkham for the number 2 spot. But Walkham's going to drive away from him on the backstretch, holding down the number 2 spot, going to work on Nicholas Johnson. Good luck with that. That kid has been phenomenal here on the low groove. Got that car down and some of that sticky stuff you mentioned earlier, and that car is really driving forward right now as he finds himself up front on the point.
Right now it's 2 distinct lines. You see Matt Walkham up on the high side making it work for him, and Nicholas Johnson down on the bottom as they drive away from the Rob Gallagher in the X machine, running third.
Great race shaping up for the lead between the 91 of Walkham and the 1N of Johnson. Johnson, amazing what he can do on the bottom where you haven't seen a lot of guys really hook up. He's really just feathering in there, getting the car turned, and powering down the back straightaway right now into turn 3.
You can see him set the car early, get it to rotate through the center of the corner, back hard on the throttle off of the corner, keeping that car very straight. As I say that, he gets a little bit of a bump from the 91 of Walkham going into turn number 1. He still gets good drive off of the corner. You can see that coil car working good. We've got a coil car and a leaf spring car running 1 and 2.
Nicholas Johnson, so good, so smooth. Talk about finesse. We were talking about Ethan Dotson. There's another kid right there that's going to represent this state very well. As he moves through the ranks, he is definitely going to be somebody we keep our eyes on.
I think next year, Nicholas Johnson's looking to get into an IMCA stock car, run with his dad and his brother in that 1N machine. He tried one out 2 weeks ago here at Bakersfield, California, put it through the billboards.
Oh,
So
no.
we had some issues, but everything was okay. The cars were okay. They got him back together. But he's out here out front leading lap number 9 for B main event number 2. You can see some sparks coming out of the right front of that machine as he was coming down the front straightaway. Hopefully that thing holds together for 3 more laps. Let's see if we can see it this time by off of turn number 4. Now